Okay, here's a very interesting wonder of video game history, and that is the steering wheels, which became very popular when the Sony PlayStation came out. Here's one of them. This is like a 3/4 type wheel, not a complete one. But they were very popular and people really enjoyed them. And the only problem was that people eventually realized that they were even harder to use than a joypad. So it was gimmicky, it was very neat, they were fun to own, but ultimately they never replaced the joypad. You can see there's the connector, it just fell on the ground, so it's a little dirty. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, they made attempts on Nintendo. This is a really cool looking unit. I said cool looking, but as far as functionality, it was worthless. This was called the Zoomer. This is for NES. There you can see the connector is NES, Nintendo 8-bit. Here was the problem with this. All it was this was attached to like a joypad type thing. So if you went like this, you were not going left, and if you went like that, you were not going right. You were actually going down and down. Look, you see that? You see how this is really a joypad. There it is right there. Isn't that weird? So that was obviously just for looks. But it shows you the concept of the steering wheel, where it was style over substance. They figured that people were going to buy this just because it looked really cool. But here's a rare opportunity to see the innovator of the industry. These are the people who started it all. Coleco. Okay? There's the Coleco Telstar Arcade. Right next to their steering wheel for Colecovision. So it gives you a rare look at the two devices together. And here's the steering wheel from the side. Here's it from the back. And there you have it. Okay. Let me think here. I guess I'll turn this over. Now, Bishu made some of the greatest joypads of this age, so the Zoomer came from a reputable company, so that's interesting to point out. Bishu made a NES joypad where you could attach headphones, and it looked better than the NES joypad. Mad Catz made a lot of great steering wheels for and joypads for the PlayStation. In case you look at that right there. Okay. Okay, there's no information underneath. The only problem with this module number 2, which is in brand new condition. Here it is, you can see, pretty much very new. Usually I would have one item that I would use, and then the others I would just use for my collection to keep these items new. Okay. I do not have the steering wheel. I am sorry. So okay. Here's another Coleco steering wheel. Let's see if the information is similar. Okay, here it says the model number 2413. So the steering wheel was model number 2413. This has no such information. Okay, so gives you an idea of what we're looking at. So there you have it. This was the steering wheel that started it all. The Telstar Arcade. And I just tried a Telstar Arcade, and it says copyright 1974. I would not think that it would be that old, but it only appeared on one unit, so check me on that to see if this was really concocted back then. Okay, I think I spent too much time with this, but steering wheels became very popular during the Sony PlayStation, both on PC and Sony, and they're less popular today. People realized that they were not 100% easy to use. Okay, one final note before leaving. One of the things that I tried to do with my collection was I would not peel any of the wrappers off until it came time to film it. There was only one problem. I forgot to. So throughout this collection, I forgot to do this. In other words, the unit will look a lot nicer with this on. I mean, with this peeled off. You can see it with it peeled off. Okay, pardon me for wasting too much time. But I think once you look at the item, if you don't want to watch the damn video anymore, then just stop the video. Okay, here we are. See how nice that looks? But then when I try to film it with the sticker on, it almost looks old. And I did that throughout this entire damn collection. I forgot to take the stickers off. Oh well. Too bad for me. Oh, there you have it. Sayonara. Well, here it is. I've had this stored away for 25 years. Still in the box, we have an Atari 5200 trackball controller. This is what it looks like, right here. And we have the Colecovision expansion module 2, the racing wheel. Here's what that looks like. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because one of the original plans of my collection was to buy a game system and to keep everything exact the way it was. Just like this. Meaning I was going to keep the box, I was going to keep the styrofoam, I was going to keep everything like that. But what happened was, after buying about 10 systems, I realized that that was impossible. It couldn't be done. It required too much space, and I didn't bother trying. In fact, I have an entire garage full of boxes to video game systems, and they're scrunched up, meaning they're flattened out, and it still takes up an entire garage. So it gives you an idea of what I'm up against. So there it is. And here's the Atari 5200 trackball controller. Notice they made it look really cool, really inviting to buy. Now let's look at the date. This is 1983 Atari. Just goes to show you that it took them a while to make progress. Meaning, you had, you know, the Atari 2600 in 1977, and you know, after 7 or 8 years, they were getting ready to put out the 7800, and they were, you know, trying little nifty little devices like this. You'll see the games themselves are really pretty much the same. Ironically, they were actually less playable than on the Atari 2600. Now, on the Coleco Industries, this says 1982. Turbo by Sega is from 1981. Okay, there it is. So Coleco was really putting forth a lot of effort. They had 3 different expansion modules. One of them, I believe, played Atari 2600 games. And, damn, what the hell was the 3rd one? I'm sure I've got it, so. Okay. Just giving you an idea of what it was like back in the olden days. People were purchasing this. Okay, here we are. Sorry about the delay. Here's the Atari 5200 trackball controller. Notice how they put them in a nice huge box to give you the feel of something important. I believe Windows, Bill Gates and Windows did the same scheme, where he would release his Windows program on this huge, remember it came in a huge box because it made it look really important. This was very common in the day. And as you know, with systems such as the Xbox 360 and the Wii, they use the exact opposite. They downsize it. Okay, I probably spent too much time telling that. Well, there you have it. I think the main reason why I made this video is because I'm showing you why I didn't try that method. Meaning, I really wanted to have everything in its original box. However, I did save the original boxes, so at least I had the hindsight to do that, but there's no way that I could have kept all the styrofoam, you know, and keep it just like new. Now, just to show you, here's the Atari 5200 trackball controller. Here's it from the side angle. You can see it's a very large device. I'm spending a lot of time with this because I really want to get a perception of what things are like, and pictures sometimes can't do that. Here's what it looks like next to a Super Nintendo. Trying to give you the angle to show you that this is higher. Here we go, right there. Okay, so this is a very large device. Obviously very cool looking, but kind of meaningless, all the buttons. But I think there was a game called Space Wars on the Atari 2600. I know that's not the name of it, but it used the same type of buttons. I'm sure I've got that too, so give me a chance and I'll show it to you. Okay. Atari 5200. Here's it from the side. Here's the connector. It looks very technical. It's amazing that this thing was so hard to use. The Atari 5200 was really hard to control, whereas in contrast the 7800 was a major improvement. Neither was as good as the 2600 though. Okay. Atari, made in Mexico. Here it is, it's the model CX53. Okay, so that says CX53. And as you can see, it does not say a Warner Communications company, which obviously suggests that Warner had already sold it. And since I have another copy, I'll... Okay, so there you have it. This was, Warner had already sold this Atari by then. Here's the expansion module. I'm not going to spend too much time showing this because I know I have one that's in better condition than this. Just a few features to mention. Notice how it uses the Atari 2600 style joypad. I believe several years later, Atari sued Sega for using that, which was really a lie because Atari was going to sue Sega for some reason because Atari needed the money. In fact, it's Alan Trammell, the leader of Atari at that time, said, in his exact words, "We're going to sue whoever can afford it." So the lawyers for Sega told him, give him $50 million and it'll shut him up. Not really relevant to the story, but just showing you that this did use the standard Atari joypad. Okay, sayonara.